Welcome back, everybody. I want everybody to know I'm still married.
Well, let's hope that we're saying that in 100 years, okay? So, yeah, the married.
The fact that you think
Lucas,
I'll be alive in 100 years is the funniest part of that
Dude,
statement.
I want to go out at like 97 in my sleep, and I feel good with that decision.
I want to go out 99 days and 99 years and 364 days.
Okay, got it.
I want to just miss the mark.
You don't want to be on the Smucker's jelly jar.
Correct.
Then. You know about
Yeah.
that? Okay,
Yeah,
the
I know.
100 club. Hey, as long as the Lord wants me here, I'll be here. So, that's what it is. What is it? Borrowing the creek rising and the Lord, what is it? What's that saying people say?
I'm not sure.
Lord willing, and if the creek don't rise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. I'll be here next time, right? Welcome into MarketAbilities. It's a podcast where we're hopefully giving you something, entertainment, a little something to just chew on and think about. Is that our goal?
Well, we want to bring value to your lives.
Yeah.
And we want to bring value to your business.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you haven't even started a business and you're still thinking about it, or
What are you waiting
whatever
on?
it is, we just want to encourage you to do that.
Yes.
And because one of our main values is launch. Like, we want you to launch.
You have to
Whether
launch.
it's pretty, whether it's ugly, it doesn't matter. You just
Right.
need to launch.
Right. You absolutely do. And the conversation we had today, as I was driving in and we were talking about some of these topics that we want to discuss here on Marketabilities, is the percentage. You know how we've learned of late that 95% of the world, I guess we're those people who we're going to go to work, we're going to make our money, we're going to have our little savings account. We hope we don't outlive our money, but we're really not doing a lot. We're not being proactive in ensuring we land in that 5%, which is the wealthy and getting wealthier because they figured it out. They broke the code. They know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because it's like, it's not even that difficult to get into like the top 5%.
We found conflicting numbers, but
Yeah,
I like
right.
yours better. So we kind of wanted to find out if you make $100,000 a year,
Yeah.
what club are you in? Well, I found one money guru who says that's the 3% club. You found better numbers.
Yeah. So from the numbers that I found, then it said it was 2023, like August or something. So
Okay.
only a couple months.
So you're more current. Mine's probably older.
It said that 18% of people in the United States.
Okay.
So if we're talking world, it's 3%.
Okay.
But if we're talking, I think that's probably
United
what
States.
you're reading. But if we're talking about the United States, which is where we are, it's 18% per individual.
Okay.
33 point something percent per household
Okay.
is actually making six figures.
The six figures. And then we
Yeah.
were looking at 80,000 or more. I have the top 25.
Yeah, I didn't look at that
You didn't look at that one?
statistic because anything below six figures isn't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Now
But
let's jump to seven figures.
Yeah.
The Millionaires Club.
Right.
I had it at 1%, but that's we now have more millionaires, I guess, right?
yeah, but we also have more people.
That's
So
right. That's one way to
I
look
think
at it.
I think the statistic still holds pretty true. I think for the 1%, is like what I read is 1.2 million.
Okay.
Is
Little
once,
growth.
once you get to that mark, then you're over in that 1% category.
Because I looked ahead to 3 million and it was like 0.01
Yeah.
or whatever.
Right.
So yeah. Now let's talk about, it's interesting how you can talk about that and say, is that attainable? Right? I mean, that's a question you have to ask yourself. And the answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
anybody.
Anybody. In like any niche too. I think that like that's something that it's hard to fathom because there are people in the audio industry that are making millions of dollars every year.
Right.
And it's like, for me, that's like hard to fathom because I just think about projects, right?
Right.
Think about per
Right.
project or something.
Right.
Or it can be like, there are people in construction that are making millions and millions of dollars. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's,
Part of that is, and look, you can talk about money, and money means so many things to so many different people. And I will tell you this, everything that I've found and everything that I'm looking at and all the individuals who they're going to tell you how they did it, you have to stop spending. That's a big part of it. People don't realize, you don't necessarily need to make the money and go spend it. You need to make the money, invest the money, watch the money grow. And then, some of that, you got to look at passive versus active income.
yeah.
And, to really get that mindset established where are you really making more money so you can just go buy more things? Or are you making more money so you can make better decisions maybe for your family, your business, your life? Maybe you can be a contributor. You're building a better kingdom, to do greater works, better works.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And I think actually what people need to look at is the ratio of how you spend your money. So if you're making, let's say $5,000 a month, right? And you have, let's say, $3,000 a month worth of bills,
right?
And you get this $2,000 a month that you can spend on whatever you want. What do you do with that?
Right.
There's lots of angles that you can take with that. You can
invest.
Yeah. You can invest, but what does that investment look like? It can look like 20 different things. It could be you invest into a 401k, a Roth IRA, you starting a new business and you need to dump money into it to get it going.
That's right. Stocks.
Yeah. Or maybe you already own a business.
Real estate.
And
business.
Well, no, but I mean, so think about this, like this is something that scares people, but if you can figure out how to do simple Facebook ads marketing, right, for your business, and say you spent $2,000, that you spent all that $2,000 on your Facebook ads one month.
Wow.
But it brought you back $4,000. And then what if you did that again?
That was smart.
What if you dumped $4,000 into that Facebook ads marketing the month after? Then you get $8,000 back. Like that's the kind of thing that people don't really consider.
Measurement.
Is like you can almost double it with things like that. And but I'm not like knocking the Roth IRA. I'm not saying I'm not knocking the 401k at 8% or whatever.
Right.
But there is a way for you to be able to completely double your business if you've got all your ducks in a row.
It's all marginal. It's what is working for you, and do you see that return? And it's really interesting because if you study the life of those individuals who have done well, real estate is always in there, and that looks like a number of things. That could be land, that could be the flip, that could be an RV park, that could be a storage unit,
Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb.
Yeah.
I think I've heard where millionaires are made more quickly with the storage units and porta potties.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, because you guys keep buying too much crap and you have to put it in the freaking storage container.
Only to get rid of it later. So crazy.
It's crazy. Like we've had a storage, my family has had a storage container our entire lives.
Wow.
And one time my dad told me, he was like, yeah, I've been paying whatever, $40-$60 a month for it. Wow. And I sat in my head, I'm like, 20 years of paying $60 a month or whatever, that's an insane amount of money.
For stuff that you never look at.
And well, no, that was the funniest part. And the reason I did that math is because it's when they moved, we pulled everything out and we dumped 90% of it.
See?
Because it was just crap.
It's a habitual behavior. So I think part of
90% is probably a little bigger. Because I know my mom's going to listen to this.
Yeah.
But Mom,
we love you.
50% of that stuff is still sitting in the barn, and you guys have done nothing with it. I'm just going to point that out.
I had one years ago. Yeah, I had one years ago because I had started a business, a children's character, and some, I needed that distribution place or whatever. But in the storage unit, that probably wasn't the best place. Some damage, some whatever. But hey, there's another write-off. So it was really good. As far as that goes.
That's fair.
But let's talk about the reason for the storage sheds or whatever is we're such creatures of habit, and I think that's what we have to break. That's truly, if you get nothing else from this podcast, stop looking at other people's lives. Like, look, if social media is your thing and you're using it, not the way Lucas said, where you're promoting your business and you're actually, more people are finding out about you and you're working harder.
Yeah.
But if you're spending hours and hours on social media and you're looking at other people's lives, dude, stop.
Yeah, because if you play that comparison game, and I catch myself in it.
Yeah, we're all guilty.
I'm like, this person's doing so much better than me, but it's you can't even compare because it's like we had completely different upbringings. We grew up in completely different places, completely different friends, completely different schools, like whatever. Like comparing yourself to somebody is like so pointless.
It is.
Because there's so many different factors that go into that it's like you're living an individual life that you were supposed to be living.
Right.
And you make, different choices. Life is not a choice. It's just choice. Like you just have choice.
Oh, very good point.
Available, and you can choose what the path that you want to actually go on.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. I've been I guess I'm halfway through this journey now. And it's what's your footprint? How will you be remembered? What did you do, really? At the end of the day, we can all say we just want to take care of our families. We want to maybe have made a mark somehow, just if you can go to bed at night and answer that question, how will I be remembered? And is it positive?
Yeah.
Is it the picture that you want in your mind?
Well, I think the reason that when we bring about money,
right,
is not because it's I don't care about fancy cars.
I'm not motivated by money. Yeah, I want to take care of people.
I want a nice house.
Sure.
And I want to travel.
Right.
But that's pretty much it. Selfishly.
Experiences, right.
But the rest of it is if you were able to create a lot of money, then you can then create things in the world that you want to create for people that can benefit people. Absolutely.
Generational wealth as well.
Yeah.
Leave people better off than they found you or you were, what you found for yourself. And, the other thing, I don't think about this often enough, but when you do decide to turn off the social media and you do decide to, by the way, everybody listening and watching, you have to do this. If you are just an employee now, not that there's anything wrong with that, you must have a company, a side hustle. And if you don't, I mean, come on, you're losing so much money if you don't do that, even if it's not a very active business. But get that side hustle, familiarize yourself with all of the pages of tax code, take advantage of that. And then the other thing is set yourself up for success. So not only are you going to start building your wealth, you want to put it into a trust. So, the taxing issue, you want to avoid all of that.
Yeah.
And then there's another layer that I have to go and investigate a little bit more, but there are life insurance policies that should umbrella it all where you can borrow against those policies and such. Yep. But that's how you're protected.
And then you end up paying interest to yourself.
Right. You want to avoid that. I guess, everybody's so concerned about probate, the taxes, everything that go along with making that kind of money.
Yeah.
But there are ways to set it up correctly. And there are people a lot smarter than we are that can help you do that. So just get out there. We're here. We're a marketing ad agency. We're trying things on the daily, what works for certain types of businesses, able to work within any budget. But what we tell our clients is just keep your expectations in line with your investment. Kind of back to what you were saying, the $2,000, does it double? Start to look at your books and decide what you want to invest back into that business.
Right. And I think, so I'm going to ask you a question here in a second. I want to hear your answer.
Okay.
Because I struggle with this even now, and even though I've gotten way better at it. But how do people, because the majority of the world are we're mostly consumers,
Mostly consumers.
Especially if you're a W-2 employee, you're most likely a consumer. You're not really producing anything.
Right.
Because if you were, you would probably end up getting really annoyed at your job and then wanting to go out and do your own thing.
Taxed to the hilt.
Right.
So somebody else is keeping most of your money.
How does someone stop being a consumer and start being a producer, Angie?
I think really, you're comfortable. I get it. That's why you want to continue to be an employee because you're comfortable there. Right. Maybe you like it. I don't know.
Sure.
But if you're thinking long term, and you do not want to outlive your money and you do not want to face that reality one day, you got to start that side business. You have to do that, even if you love what you're doing.
Yeah, but how do they actually change from a consumer to a producer? Because Angie, as long as I've known you, and from what you've told me, you've never really been much of a consumer type of person.
I was a consumer for 30 years.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It wasn't until it was probably 12, 15 years ago, I changed my mindset. And I changed my mindset because what took me 30 years to make, I made in 3 years myself.
Wow.
Building my business.
Holy
because
crap.
You know how they always say you won't outwork me.
Yeah.
You know what you're capable of. I can tell you if you're in that employee sector, you're making somebody a lot of money. And in particular, if you're performing a service that you could do just as well on the side, for yourself, why are you doing it for somebody else?
Right.
It
goes back to that comfort thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And kind of like what you said, when I got into business for myself, a lot of it is education. People, they don't teach this in schools. I don't know why. They should. They really should.
I know why.
Because they want to keep you, it's a learned behavior. Now let's come full circle to the 95%.
I mean, the public school systems are, this is going to be controversial, but they're owned by people
that want you to stay stay in the lines.
The people who make the decisions, our government, whatever, whoever it is,
right,
they're being paid by people who own all these companies so that they can make more employees.
So true.
It's a whole system, and it sucks.
Is a system.
And whatever, this podcast gets taken down, worth it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a whole system, and once you kind of take a step back and get like a 10,000 foot view of the system, it sucks.
Yeah. We brought this up on a past podcast. They want to make you believe that the stock market and real estate, which most people with wealth, that's where they make their money, right? Because they're never going to make any more land and people are buying it up and it's worth a lot of money, right? This is going to sound crazy, but I also want you to research positive debt.
Positive debt.
Honey, for 50 years, our dollar has been backed by debt. Why are you rushing to pay off your house when you could take that money instead of doubling up your payments and go invest in one of those accounts you're talking about that will have these earnings, that you can measure?
It's like Lena and I were very fortunate, and actually, really, it was her decision, and so I applaud her for this. I will forever. Our house right now is like 2.9%.
Keep it there. Positive debt.
Yeah. Because we can easily make 8 to 10% on something else, if not much higher. So that's
brilliant.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's that positive debt, and I said the same thing you did when somebody said to me, debt, because debt is that word we've always been taught. Now, credit card debt, no, unless it's one of those, and I don't even know if they do this anymore, the 0% interest. But again, you got to be super diligent. Yeah. Make sure you take that to go buy whatever property or whatever.
I actually used one of those cards.
Okay.
For a company I buy gear from.
Okay.
They do like 36, 48 months, no interest. So for me, it's like a no-brainer. There's no way I'm not going to pay that off in 3 years. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's how credit card companies will get you. They'll do like the 0% for like the first 6 months or first year or something.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you forget to pay it off. And then
that's what they're banking on.
And then you pay interest on that full amount because you didn't pay off that full thing or whatever.
So, but that's smart. You got in business that way? Is that how you used?
Yeah, that's actually originally how I bought some of my gear.
Okay.
Especially some of my more expensive gear. I was like, I can just put it on this credit card. Not only did that build my credit when I was like 20, but it also got me in the door to work with some people that I didn't think I'd be able to work. Or I didn't even have the capability to do because I couldn't afford the gear. That's
a big part of it. And I'm happy to say here at Growing Media, we have a program established where if a young entrepreneur comes in, and because it will only benefit us as well, and they don't have the gear that they need.
Yeah.
We're happy to buy that gear, and you're essentially buying it back from us. And
0% interest.
Absolutely. But look what you did and look what you produced for the agency.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 0% interest.
That is the interest.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So see, just some things like that. And it really just takes, you keep thinking that it's just going to fall in your lap, right? But you have to go in search of this type of education. And then it is a mindset. So you have to just change the way you're thinking. It's not that your parents did it wrong. There's just a better way to do it, so you don't ever have to worry if you're going to outlive your money. You're taking care of generations to come.
Yes, yeah, I see my dad as an inspiration.
He's awesome.
He did such a good job of investing. He was the most diligent.
We should have him on this podcast to talk about how, because he did really well.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was partly commission based and got really good bonuses, but he within his company he matched his 401k every single month. Like he never missed. So which is why they're in they have the money that they do have now.
Sure.
And I actually think they're at the point now where they're not 100% sure, but where they're taking just like the dream, right? Where it's like you retire and you're taking money home, but you're making more money on your investments.
Yes.
So it's like you're not actually losing any money from your whatever salary that you're taking home from your investments.
My father's the same way. It's like there's more coming in every month, but yet he's so comfortable living on this, this area right here of what he niched out for himself there. And it's crazy. There's a whole world out there. I recently did the whole stock market thing. If you're not in the stock market, you should be, and you already are. You don't realize that. You've been doing market research your whole life. We've talked about this. If you drive a certain car, if this camera, for instance, clothing that you wear, if it's a publicly traded company, just stop buying all their stuff and invest in it. When other people buy it, make money on it.
Yeah.
Why aren't we all doing that?
I don't really know. It's
crazy.
A good question.
Okay.
I'm rethinking my entire life.
This is the word that we said we were not going to use.
Yep.
What did I say? I said I had a better word. I wasn't going to use it.
Habitual.
I was just habitual is what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Is we're just creatures of habit.
Yep.
And Lucas went a step further.
So we're all lazy.
Lazy.
We're all lazy. And here's the thing is I will even put myself in that camp because there are plenty of things I could have done to make more money. And I've, especially in the past 10 years where, I'm 31 now. I'm been aware of things where I could have made more money and just didn't do them out of pure laziness or distraction, right? Because it's like either I've been here or I've been watching TV or something, right?
The question you asked me, I made the pivot probably about 5 years down the road from where you are right now. That's when my life changed.
Yeah.
As everything just became so clear. And again, it took a long time and a lot of sleepless nights. And, how are you going to do this? And I'm happy to say that Growing Media never borrowed any money.
That's crazy. Wow.
It's really kind of crazy because in television and video production and the way we work, we trust our clients. There might be some sort of retainer in place, but it's like, just perform the work and they pay you for the job, and it's a residual rather than the highs and lows. And a lot of agencies and a lot of marketing and ad companies are different. Yeah. The other thing that we found out today that we're super excited about, and I guess we'll close with this, video production, audio production, graphic design, digital marketing, social marketing, those are now considered the hot jobs for making that kind of money that we're talking about because everybody needs what we do now.
Yeah, I mean, content creation is the name of the game now. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of content it is. It could be a podcast. You could just be listening to us right now. I mean, we are filming it. It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. But, I mean, even me, like I consume almost at least one podcast a day nowadays.
A day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because now.
Too much.
Well, but my drive is a lot longer now.
That's true.
Here. Yeah. So it's like, I actually kind of like that opportunity. I don't like paying for that gas, but I like the opportunity to actually to sit down and listen to a podcast. Because once I get here, I don't want to listen to a podcast. I want to get to work, or I want to talk to somebody or whatever.
Right.
But I mean, the content creation is just so name of the game, and you just need to pick what you want to do.
That's it.
Because long form, short form, audio only, even like just like some text on screen with some shots, like it'll all work.
It will.
You just need to sit down and actually do it.
I mean, back to the old time business cards, you go hand those out like crazy. Well, nobody wants them. I can tell you that, but they would like to see your message. They would like to get to know you. They would like to determine if they want to do business with you. So educate yourself, start that business. Even by the next podcast, make sure you've started that business. And then hopefully along the way, we'll teach you how to grow that business. And in the end, it's all a very, very happy story.
Yep. And if you already have a great business and you want to up your revenue, give us a call.
That's right.
We will do all the marketing and make it happen.
Measure success. Long list of satisfied clients. So give us a call. We would appreciate that. GrowingMediaMarketing.com. Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Later. Bye.